Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time today to join us with Trafalgar presentation on Italy. Even though we know it's not safe to travel, it's still nice to dream and plan for our future when we can. Our presentation today will be approximately 30 minutes with time at the end for any questions you may have. But if you have any questions throughout, please feel free to let us know by clicking on the orange arrow on the side of your taskbar, and we will help answer them any way we can. If we're unable to answer any of those questions, we'll ensure to get to you after the session today. For maximum enjoyment, we would like for you to view the presentation in full mode, full view, and the presenter will mute all microphones so there'll be no feedback or noise. Please enjoy.
Ken, could we get you to just advance the slide there?
Sure can.
Hi, oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No worries. Oh, hi. My name is Darlene Keynes, and I am the branch manager and personal travel planner for CAA in St. John's, Newfoundland. I've been in the industry for approximately 30 years and have to say that Italy is one of my all-time favorite vacations. I've had the opportunity to travel both independently and as a tour, and by far a escorted tour bus is the way to travel through Italy. I find the 7 days, if you're trying to get everything in, you can be in Rome and do the Spanish Steps, the Colosseum, the Trevi Fountain, and then get on a grab on a bus, and an hour later you can be in Pompeii. So if you're trying to grab as much in for us, for me, it was definitely an escorted bus tour. So I would like to also introduce my boss and also president of retail sales, Miss Glenda Hunter.
Thank you, Darlene. Yeah, Glenda Hunter, and the role is Vice President of Retail. I work out of our Dartmouth location. I've been with CAA close to 15 years and been in the travel industry for 43 years. I've had the pleasure of traveling with Trafalgar on a trip to the British Isles. There are so many benefits of doing a guided vacation with Trafalgar tours. There's comfort and safety, insider knowledge, and meeting new people. One of the favorite things that I had experienced with the trip was the storytelling from the travel director. I just love, there are so many great stories that came out of our trip. I've also traveled to Italy independently, and it's definitely one of my favorite destinations. I do want to go back, but there's the food, and there's the wine, and the history, and the art, and the architecture. I'd now like to introduce you to one of our most loved and preferred travel suppliers, Ken Nickerson with Trafalgar Tours. Ken has been in the travel industry for over 25 years. He started as a travel agent with CAA and then ventured into the sales side of the business. He fell in love with Europe and joined the Travel Corporation in 2009 as sales manager for Trafalgar and Cost Saver in Atlantic Canada. Today, he is Senior Business Development Manager and has an expanded region to represent. 12 years later, and he still loves his role and cannot wait to get back to exploring the world, like most of us. Ken, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Wonderful, and thank you so much, ladies, for the introduction and for inviting me to be here with you today. As Glenda mentioned, I've been with the company now for 12 years, and I have thoroughly enjoyed my role with the company and being a part of this organization. We, oh, sorry, there's a couple of Glenda's beautiful photos of Rome. And here we are in 21-22 Italy. Today, what I'd like to do in the next half hour, talk a little bit about Italy with Trafalgar. I will highlight some of our well-being protocols that we have put in place for going forward, but also talk a little bit about my Italy, as Darlene and Glenda did, and in the end show a little video of some of the experiences that we offer on Trafalgar. Going forward in 21-22, we like to say that we tour differently. And when you're touring with us, it is about really embracing the destination, experiencing it, and having a real connection. That's what we ultimately want you to enjoy. Again, I fell in love with Italy on my very first Trafalgar trip that I took when I joined the company in 2009. I did an autumn, winter, spring departure in late November, and I just fell head over heels in love with Italy. The food, the people, the architecture, the history. The wine was out of this world, of course, but it was a wonderful and amazing journey for me. And I've had been fortunate enough to travel back to Italy since, and I cannot wait to go back again because it's a large country and there's so much to see there. Just to talk a little bit about my company and the Travel Corporation, we've been in business for over 100 years now, and the Tolman family that are the owners of the corporation believe in giving back, and they're actually very involved in sustainability and tourism, reaching a neutral carbon footprint as we move forward. And then about 11 years ago, they started the Tread Right Foundation. It's our not-for-profit organization where we give back, where we care for the planet, the places, the wildlife, and we help the people as we journey. As I talk about some of the experiences today that we offer, you will see how we support local businesses, small businesses, and how we can be more responsible when we do travel. There are many initiatives that the Tread Right Foundation undertakes, including right here in our own country in Canada. And if you have an opportunity, you can check out treadright.org to learn more about those initiatives that we have been undertaking. And we have continued this even through the pandemic to make sure that we support these initiatives and that they don't suffer and that they are maintained throughout. The best way to go, booking with confidence, traveling with well-being at mind, and our handcrafted vacations. That's what we are all about at Trafalgar, to ensure that all of these matters are looked after for you. When it comes to our booking conditions, the trip reassurance, the Travel Corporation, we are one of the largest and we are the leaders in travel. Our CEO, Brett Tolman, posted a letter on our website, just letting you know that we are financially secure, we have no debt, and that your money is safe. We are not going anywhere, but we will be right here when it's time to take you on your journey. We have flexibility with our deposits. Your deposit is never lost. It becomes a credit as soon as you book with us, but if within 30 days you still want to change your mind, you're free to change your mind. And if you decide I'm not quite ready to commit, we'll refund that $200 deposit. And up until 30 days prior to departure, for the time being, you can actually make changes to your plans as well on the land portion. So we're really about being flexible for you. I know it's a difficult time to think about making commitment and booking, but certainly know that if you are ready to lock in that space, maybe for 2022, because things are really starting to fill up, that you can do so and know that you don't have to worry, you're being looked after. When it comes to well-being, it is our priority, and we have been working with the World Travel and Tourism Council, the World Health Organization, to make sure that we put all the proper procedures in place so that when we travel, you will not have to worry about it. We have actually some of the strongest guidelines in the business today. We have our well-being directors that is new to the industry. So we'll actually have, along with our travel director, our driver, and our around-the-clock support team globally, a well-being director, an individual who will be there to make sure that all of the sanitization is being done right, hygiene protocols are met, that all of our business partners that we're working with, be it hotels, restaurants, facilities we visit, are all meeting those protocols, and that we are keeping you at risk-free and as safe as we can. And we also have a 24-hour 7-day-a-week in response team. So as soon as something happens, we know what it is, we can jump into action, and you don't have to worry about anything. We look after it all for you. And when it comes to our perfectly planned trips, this is something that I've been a witness to over the last 12 years of my career with the Travel Corporation and working for Trafalgar, Cost Saver, and now Brendan Vacations, is an evolution of our experiences. When I first started, we toured, we did the iconic sites, we all ate at the same restaurants. It was nice, it was good. But what we realized was missing was that local connection, about bringing the destination to life, where you met local people, you dined in local restaurants, and you went off the beaten track. You'll see all of the must-sees, but then it is about getting away and knowing that when we visit those little farms, those little villas, and Olive Grove, be it an artisan at work, that you are helping us to give back and to support local and small businesses, which is what is so important today. As we know, many of the major sites of the world pre-COVID were actually struggling with over-tourism, and we've managed to find a way to support the smaller local communities, but still find a way to take you to those must-see sites and to make sure that we do it when it's less crowded, less busy, and it has less impact on the destination. So now I want to share a little bit about my Italy. And as I mentioned, I've been to Italy twice now with Trafalgar. I have fallen in love with the country itself. Every inch of it. There hasn't been a moment in Italy. I guess the only moments in Italy I'm sad is when I have to leave it. Outside of that, it is a moment that I thoroughly enjoy. This is a gondola ride in Venice with our group, and there's nothing better than being serenaded, floating through the canals of Venice on a gondola. I've also done it on one of the water taxis. There's no wrong way to explore Venice, the canals, and to take in all the wonderful sights. It's just remarkable. On this trip, we actually, in the evening, just went off on our own to St. Mark's Square, because we don't like to go to St. Mark's when it's packed with people. We choose to go there when it's less crowded. And it was so wonderful. And then our travel director said, I'm headed back to the hotel. Would you like to join me? Or if you want to stay here at St. Mark's and find your way back. So a group of us did that, and I have to say it was a remarkable experience, meandering through the streets of Venice. You find the Grand Canal, and you can make your way back to our hotel. And we all made it back fine. We actually found a wonderful little restaurant and bar where we sat outside under heated lamps, and we sat on leather furniture and had lovely wine and appetizer. It was just absolutely magical. It was something I would never have expected. And that's what we want for you, is to be able to come back from these journeys, not scripting every moment for you, but letting you have an opportunity to go out and create those incredible magic memories. We're there to help you throughout the journey. Taking in the must-see sites, we do that as well. So we will visit all of those wonderful places like Vatican City. One of the great things with our company is when we visit Vatican City, we do it a bit differently. Most of our trips, we will be the first group in the morning before it opens. The Vatican Museum's open to the public. So we get escorted in through our own entrance. We go in, we start our sightseeing without the crowds. So you can hear our local specialist. It's just your group making your way through the beautiful museums and into the Sistine Chapel. What's also nice is we have access to parts of the Vatican that other companies and other people don't. For example, this is my photo I took of what's known as the Bramante staircase. It is the stepless staircase. And because the Vatican and moving the antiquities and heavy objects was difficult, Bramante designed this stairway that spirals up so donkeys could be used and mules to bring the artifacts, almost like an escalator system. So it was the precursor to an escalator. I can also tell you one of the most incredible views I saw of Rome was from a window at the Bramante staircase. I started to put the photo in here, but I thought, nope, you're not getting that view unless you travel with us, and we'll show it to you. On a couple of our trips, we also do what's called Vatican Experience. And this is where we are the last group of the day to enter. So it's now closed to the public. Trafalgar guests will enter. It's on one of our trips, we do it as Rome and Tuscan highlights. And we will go in after hours, do our sightseeing around the Vatican. We'll see St. Peter's, we'll visit the Bramante staircase, and if the weather permits, you will have dinner outside in the Vatican gardens. How incredible is that? And if the weather's not great, we'll bring you back into the museum, and then we'll have dinner set up for us inside. But it is an opportunity to have an experience that you cannot find anywhere else, especially if you were doing this on your own. So these are some of those great benefits that you have. So even when we do these VIP must-see sites, we do them differently for you. One of the great sites of Rome, the Colosseum, still I marvel every time I visit it. It's just a remarkable sight. And again, not standing in a line, walking past everyone. And at times you feel kind of guilty. You think, oh, those poor people have been waiting in this heat and I just walk by. Never feel sorry for making good choices. It's the benefit of traveling with us. We'll make sure you get past the crowds into those must-see sites. What we try to do in places like Venice is that we go to places when it's less crowded. So we may go do something else earlier in the day on the outskirts of town, come back when the crowds are gone, just so you have an opportunity to have that moment that belongs to you. When it comes to bringing the destination to life, our travel directors are absolutely incredible. Their knowledge is impeccable, and they are true experts in that destination. Now, you may get on a trip in Italy and go, that accent's not Italian. I can tell you we have some great Canadian travel directors working in Europe, but their knowledge and passion for Italy, and they speak Italian, but their passion and love is no different than somebody who was born and raised there. But when we visit places like Florence, we want to bring in those locals, born, raised, trained, educated. They know Italy inside out, Florence in particular. So this young lady with the microphone in her hand, her name is Madeline. And in 2009, in November, I met her on my very first Trafalgar trip. So she was my first local specialist. And I have to tell you, I fell in love with her. She brought a different approach. I had been on trips in Europe before where I had local guides who gave you a lot of dates and history. Madeline shared that, but she also shared a love of the modern, of the current, and pointing out little street signs and fun facts. And it was not just seeing it. In fact, she started her own local specialist company. And when she did, Trafalgar came to her and said, Madeline, we are staying with you because you are brilliant. I met her 6 years later. And as we were getting off the coach, and I was being a Trafalgar employee, I let everyone else off before me. And when I stepped off, she looked at me, she said, oh my gosh, you're Ken. I met you 6 years ago. It was like, their minds are amazing. But it's these sorts of individuals, when we visit these incredible places throughout Italy and around the world, that really bring the magic. They bring it to life, and they share anecdotes and personal experiences. And maybe they'll take you to their favorite cafe shop, or maybe where you get the best gelato. That's up for debate, where the best gelato is. We've had several discussions on that, and nobody can really nail it down. I say Montecatini would be mine on the Roman Tuscan highlights. Oh, amazing. Now, during your free time, which we build more free time in our trips now than we've ever had before, because we want you to have an opportunity to explore on your own as well. But during that time, our travel directors will offer optional experiences. One that they do offer in Venice is a visit to the island of Burano. Now, Burano is known as the Fisherman's Island. It's less touristy. In fact, there's very few tourists here. This is where you can buy some really nice lace works. We have a wonderful seafood dinner at a local restaurant that you can enjoy. So our local specialist took us over to the island of Burano via water taxi across the canal. And when we arrived, it's a little dusk, as you can see here. Now, this is in November. The streets aren't busy because it's not packed with tourists. But we walked around, and it's very colorful. I almost felt like I was in St. John's, Newfoundland, with all those brilliant jewel tones, a little bit more muted, but it was still just vibrant and beautiful compared to where a lot of Europe and a lot of Italy is white. As we walked through, the local specialist described the artist of Burano. So because the homes were all white, and the fishermen would go out to the lagoon to fish, and then they would come back in the evenings, and of course they would all head to the pub for a drink or to a trattoria. And the wives in the mornings would be like, when the husband came home, tapping her foot at the door, where were you? And the fishermen would all say, I got lost, all the houses are white, I didn't know where I was going. So an artist that lived on the island, the women started to hire this gentleman to paint their houses different colors. So the husband couldn't say, I lost my way, I didn't know the color of my home. As we wandered through the streets, the local specialist talked more about the artist, and they gave his name, which I apologize, I forget. But as he was explaining it, he was pointing out another home, and eventually he said, turn around, and we turned around, and there was this house that was just a patchwork of color. And he said, this is where the artist lived. What he did with his house is he painted geometric designs on it with the leftover paint from all the different colors of the homes. So his home really stood out. So I guess that was his business card. This is where you can find the artist of Burano if you want your house painted. But it's just these little touches that are so wonderful. And when we're in Venice, you'll still visit a glass blowing demonstration with Murano glass. You will see the art of gondola making as well. There's so much to see. It's 118 islands in Venice, so there's so much to enjoy when you're there. And this kind of wraps up a little bit of my Italy. And I mentioned Montecatini, and this is a view of the top of it. I always like to take a picture of the flag of the country I'm in. And this is on top of the great medieval spas that exist in Montecatini. And on Rome and Tuscan highlights, you spend 6 nights, 1 hotel, visiting Tuscany, visiting our local Be My Guest experiences at Tuscan villas. It's just absolutely magical, and it's a great opportunity to explore a smaller city. It's about 40 minutes west of Florence, but it still gives you all that wonderful Italian charm, but on a smaller scale. So I am going to share with you a video, and in this video, we'll highlight one of what we call a Connect with Locals, or our Be My Guest experience. So bear with me as I share that video, and hopefully I do this without any issues.
My name is Alberto. I am part of the family. I'm the cousin of the owners, and I am in charge here at this winery. The castle is historically significant because here was plotted the most important conspiracies in the history of Italy, the Pazzi conspiracy. The family who built this castle and who decided to kill the Medici family, they plotted into this castle. And because it is the only castle still inhabited all year round by a family. What we want to give to our Trafalgar visitors and guests, it's a taste, not just a taste of the food that we cook in our kitchen or the taste of the wine that we make in our basement, but it's a taste of what happened in this castle. So we start giving a historical introduction in the Renaissance courtyard, then we open the private rooms where the family lives, and then after that we go down to the cellars and we talk to them about the wine and the oil, extra virgin olive oil that we produce here. We visit the dungeon, and then we go upstairs and they taste the food and the wine.
So that's a little peek at one of our Be My Guest experiences. And as I mentioned, we do have these on all of our journeys that we partake. It's a great way. When we visit these villas, many of them were falling into disrepair. The families were in danger of losing them. But by us bringing our guests to their homes, they've been able to support and sustain them. And we've even made financial contributions to make sure that they can be around for years to come to help support us as we move forward. So talk a little bit about the member benefits of being a CAA member, which I'm a proud member of and have been since I think my first job at CAA. It's a membership that I cherish greatly. But when you travel with us, you do benefit, and we are part of the CAA vacation program, where select Trafalgar trips are listed in that brochure, that program, and you can receive an optional excursion voucher for 2021 and 2022. As well, you also save $150 per person, when you are booking your vacation. And this is applicable as well. So for 2021 departures, so maybe this fall as things open up, you're ready to go. Maybe you'd like to travel there in November, December, as I've done, and believe me, it's absolutely a perfect time to go. You certainly can. And if you're booking for 2022, you book and pay by January 31st, so lots of time. And I did mention earlier that we are seeing increase, especially out of the US. Bookings are really on fire right now, and our trips are starting to fill. Plus there's over Amorgau and things happening. So if 2022 is on your list, really start doing some dreaming research, call your travel planner and talk to them, and start looking at which trip is right for you, because we do have a lot of options, especially when it comes to Italy as well. And there's a little extra bonus. If you're booking by the end of April, you can save an extra $150 per person. Actually, I apologize, that should be $100 per person. That's my error. So it's $150 for the member benefit, and then $100 for attending today. And that's just to say thank you so much for being a part of this experience. And if you're booking for 2022, this still applies as well. So on that note, I am going to ask Glenda and Darlene to come back and join. and we will see if we have any questions
I don't see any
for
there.
me, for them.
Hi, Ken. Hi. That was terrific. And no wonder I love Italy, because they have the two of my favorite things, food and wine, right? So, but I don't
I'm
see
a
any
gelato
questions.
girl.
I don't see any questions at this point, but if any come in, we will certainly respond to them within 24 hours. Thank you, Ken. That was a terrific presentation. Really enjoyed it. I love the personal stories. I think that's the greatest part of travel, is the stories you come back with, for sure. There are a couple of handouts I'll just mention that you are able to print off if you are interested. One is the show special and one is a recipe. And the other thing we just want to mention, we know it's not safe to travel at this point, but it's okay to dream and to start thinking about when the world is ready for us to travel, for sure. Let's see, Darlene, have I missed anything in our wrap up?
Oh, no, pretty much our travel show is still ongoing until tomorrow evening. There are still more sessions. If you'd like to join, we'd love to see you. Go to our website, sign up. We'd love to see you there. So, and a special thanks again for Ken for doing this for us today, and your wealth of knowledge makes us want to travel again for sure. So thank you for that. And for all of our guests who joined us today, thank you so much for taking your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you. Stay safe, everybody.
Welcome.
Bye.
Bye.